What's up, party peeps? Today we're going to continue to look at our Canon M series cameras and accessories. Let's take a look at the first lens you're likely going to get when you get your Canon M series camera, the EF-M 15-45. This is a kit lens. Alright, what is a kit lens? That just means that it's a lens that you buy with a kit or a package deal whenever you buy a new camera and lens combo. Normally, kit lenses are considered below average quality in features, quality in both build as well as quality in how it takes pictures. In my opinion though, this is a surprisingly good kit lens. Now, that doesn't mean that it's perfect. Of course, Canon had to have some compromises in order to keep the price low, but I think it's a good lens anyway. So here are some things that I've noticed about this kit lens. One, it's wide. At 15 millimeters on a crop sensor, that's really nice. It becomes 24 or so. So it makes it really versatile at that 15. On the other side though, the 45, I would not suggest this as a good sports lens, but it's a really good portrait and product lens. So it's also very small. It's only about 5.5 ounces, or the equivalent to 3 packs of 5 gum. You know, 5 gum. All right, so 3 packs of those. It's also really small. When you put the lens by itself, is less than 3 inches. You can easily put the lens and the camera, and I would say like in some big baggy pants, like cargo pants, or maybe like a smallish purse. I throw it in my camel pack whenever I'm going for a bike ride, like, you know, the water thing. I put it in there, I don't even notice it. Make sure you get this lens as a part of the package deal. The standalone price is about 300 bucks, and that's a little bit harder to justify. If you already own the Canon M series though, and you don't have this lens, consider buying a refurb version. You can go to Canon's website and find it cheaper there normally, or find it used on Adorama or B&H Photo or one of those places. Okay. So how does this lens perform? I know I'm going into all these other details, but how does it perform? It's sharp, I think anyway. It's very good. So let's look at some photos that I've taken with this lens, with this body, and you tell me what you think. All right? What do you think? All right, 15-45 on a crop body is the equivalent range to a 24-72 on a full frame body. All right, what does all that mean? Well, so when we're talking about a crop sensor, you may know that an APS-C sensor is smaller than a full frame sensor by a factor of about 1.6. So any lens that you put on an APS-C sensor, and an APS-C sensor camera is like this M50 or a 70D or a Rebel, or on the Sony side of things like the A6300 or A6400. You have to then factor that there's a 1.6 crop, or about a 1.5 times zoomed in look with that lens. I know, a lot of words. What does that really mean? So here's a 15 millimeter shot on the Canon M50, okay? Now this is a 24 millimeter shot on a full frame camera. So you see how it looks zoomed in? Now we're not comparing to the quality, because the 60 is a much better camera, has a much better sensor, but the M50 looks pretty stinking good on there. Now let's look at the 45. Now here's a 70 mil with a full frame. So 45 is on a crop sensor, the 70 is on a full frame. So you see what I mean? All right, as you can tell, the field of view is very close between these two lenses and between the two cameras. Now, let's look at something else. What's the size difference? Now we have the 6D Mark II with the 24-70 2.8 lens. You're looking at just over 3 pounds, actually almost 4 pounds on this camera. And with the M50, this is the 15-45 lens, and you're looking at just over 1 pound, or 1 pound 2 ounces. Crazy. All right. Now, we can't completely compare the quality between a 24-70 2.8 and a 15 mil 3.5-6.3. Why? So one, this one doesn't have a fixed aperture. So that means that whenever you're zooming in, you're going to have to change some settings. It could be your ISO or your shutter speed, but you're going to have to change something. Also, even at the widest point, when I'm zoomed all the way out of 15 mil, I still can't get to 2.8. I could get 3.5 at the lowest. So, but it's not all bad. So some of the things I really like about this lens is it has IS, or image stabilization. So that just means that I can get steadier shots, especially when you combine that with the digital IS in body. Another thing is it has an STM motor, so it makes it better for autofocus, especially for video. I think this lens is really good for a variety of different photography, from food photography to product to all kind of stuff. Last year our food show, Houston Offbeat, was all about taco trucks, so of course we had to go to the taco truck again and try this lens out. So maybe you're a restaurant owner or a food blogger and you want to take your game to the next level, definitely consider this lens as a part of your package. I love landscape photography on this lens. If you follow my Instagram, you'll see I use this lens quite a bit for landscape photography, for panorama photography. We'll get into panoramas later on. That's going to be a whole nother video in itself. But this lens is really good for all those type of photographies, as well as even time-lapse. So here are some time-lapse videos that we've taken using this lens. At 15 millimeters, it's so wide, it gives you a really nice view for whatever you're shooting, especially landscapes. In the future, I'll do a short video on time-lapse, so just let me know what kind of things you guys like to know about. So the final area I think this lens can be good in is product photography. So my friend, he's starting a business where he's building these awesome custom kennels or crates, and I went over and I used this camera and this lens to get all these shots. This lens, if you're just starting a store or you need to get your website up, you want to start selling stuff on eBay, this lens, this body is a very good combination. Now, there are some compromises. Like I mentioned, that 3.5 to 6.3, when I'm zoomed out at 15, it's 3.5, at 45, it's 6.3. What does that mean? It means that I'm going to have to slow down my shutter, which means that I may have a greater chance of camera shake, or I'm going to have to raise my ISO, and that just means that there's more grain or more noise in the picture. It's also a plastic body, so it feels light and cheap, but honestly, I like the lightness of it. The final thing is there's this little switch that you have to flip to turn it on. You're going to miss some pictures in the beginning. I just got used to turning it on and off, but I've seen some people say that they just leave it on all the time. Some of the things that are meh about this lens is the manual focus. It's good. It's not a problem. It's just it doesn't really give you that nice feedback. It's really no resistance, just feels loose. So in my opinion, overall, this is a great lens. I only own about 3 lenses for the M system so far. This one, the 28 3.5 and the 22 2 lens, this is my favorite one. The other lenses have their own space and they are amazing in their own right, but this is the most versatile lens that I own on the M series. And with that, it's my favorite lens to carry around with me. You won't go wrong having this lens on you if you're just walking around. It's a great travel lens, a great portrait lens, a great product lens. Like I said, don't use this for sports photography. You're just not going to be happy there. But outside of that, I can't think of too many places I wouldn't use this lens. So hopefully you guys learned something at review. The Canon M50 plus the 15 to 45 lens. Check out my Instagram and I'll post more pictures from this video as well as some other pictures that I've taken with this lens. And until the next video, late.